Hey everybody, it's gamer number 98 here, and welcome to Let's Play number 17. As promised, Pikmin. This is going to be a more laid-back, casual Let's Play, which is going to be a pretty nice end to the year. Let's just pick start here. But don't worry, because next year I'm going to have some of my best Let's Plays. Possibly. Anyway, we're gonna need another save file, so I'll just delete this one. Alright, so we are ready to begin. Rock! Oh no! Like I couldn't possibly have seen that coming! Come on. He should have seen that coming! He was looking right at it! Oh, so that's how the world's gonna end. Hey dude, are you with us? Yeah, he's okay. What the heck? Now? Go away, I don't want to update later. Hope that hasn't messed up anything. My name is Captain Olimar. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I totally didn't see it coming! I must have blacked out, and I awoke on the surface of a weird planet. With so many parts lost, the skeletal hull of my beloved dolphin is a painful sight. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my atmospheric sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high levels of poisonous oxygen. My life support systems can function for only 30 days. If I can't repair the dolphin by then... No! Better not think about it. I must find the missing ship parts. And so the game begins. We are playing as Captain Olimar here. So the controls are very straightforward on the GameCube controller. You move around with the control stick. You can move this cursor around you just by tuning it very slightly. We'll get into the rest of the controls in a moment, but for now we're just going to want to wander around here until we come across this peculiar object. Surprise! A strange thing has appeared before me. I had barely begun my search when it reared up, as if it were waiting for me. It then dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive? Is it a machine? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet that we call an onion. I shall call this an onion too. Originality! Well, the onion thing dropped something. The seed that the onion dropped took root in the soil and has now produced an adorable little sprout. The sprout emits a strange light, and it sways back and forth without benefit of wind. I cannot help but think it is calling to me. I am compelled. I must approach it and press A. And thus a legend was born. Extraordinary! When I plucked the sprout, it turned out to be a living creature, not a plant. picking it has done no visible damage. It just stands there, staring at me. The shape is similar to the Pick brand carrots I love so much. I believe I shall call it a Pikmin. Here I am, stranded on a toxic planet, fighting to survive, and yet I'm intrigued. I must research this fascinating creature. I shall try to grab it and throw it with A, and I will call it to my side with B. Perhaps it will react to the C stick and X as well. The following controls appear to allow me several viewpoints. L rotates the camera, hold it to follow the cursor, R zooms in and out, and Z changes the angle. I must survive. I need to familiarize myself with these controls and my surroundings. So in case you didn't know, this is the original GameCube release of Pikmin, not the new Play Control version. Because let's be honest, the original versions are always going to be the best. That also goes for any kind of remakes rather than just simple ports. Like, let's see. Well, if you ask me, the proper way of doing a remake right is definitely Super Mario 64, because the DS remake is definitely really good. It's the proper way of doing a remake. But anyway, astonishing, the onion has sown more seeds. The small red pellet the Pikmin harvested after cutting down a flower appears to be some type of food that can propagate more Pikmin. The onion seems to be a sort of incubator. Needless to say, I must study this strange life form more. And that's how you get more Pikmin. You just get these pellets. The Pikmin will carry them back to the onion, and it makes more. Now the number on the pellet shows how many Pikmin are needed to carry it, and you need to take it to the onion of the same color to make the most of it. So really, all you're doing now is just taking these red Pikmin, and you're just gonna make more Pikmin from them. This is basically the tutorial of the game. The first day is always the tutorial. Alright. Yeah, going back to that whole thing about the original releases of video games always being the best. When a company decides to remake a game, I kind of feel like the original releases are always the best. Like Ocarina of Time, when that was re-released on 3DS. While I enjoyed the 3D remake, I mean it was really a good enhancement, it was still the same game. The boss rush mode and the inclusion of Master Quest were definitely good features, but overall, I just didn't love it. Well, while it was basically the same game and therefore was still the same masterpiece, it at the same time just wasn't the same. Originals just feel like they're the best to me. The same also applies to like the Donkey Kong Country remakes they made for GBA. Like at most, the new features in those games were pretty mediocre and unneeded. But enough about that, we need to focus on what's actually happening here. So right now we have 12 Pikmin in play right now. Those numbers down there actually represent Pikmin. The first number represents how many is with Olimar right now. The second number represents how many are in the field right now. And the third and final number represents the total number of Pikmin that you have stored away. So you probably figured it out by now, but the A button throws Pikmin. You throw them at the cursor. You can press the B button to blow your whistle to call them back to you. The C stick moves them about as a group while you play this rather very cutesy sound, whatever. It just moves them about, and this is really helpful. The X button dismisses them from Olimar so that he will go off alone, and you can just call him back here. Alright, so now we have 14 Pikmin, we can actually move on. So if we come over here, there's a cardboard box. Now this needs 10 Pikmin to be able to push it. And Olimar is staring off into space for some odd reason. But yeah, they're gonna push that to access a new area, but also make a bridge for us to get up onto that tree stump. The Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to perform tasks that would be impossible for an individual. A glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I shall sum up all I've learned of Pikmin conduct. Pay attention, Private. This is the Pikmin conduct. Yeah, that's right. Approach and press A to pick sprouts. Press A to grab Pikmin. Release to throw. Press B to call them. X to dismiss. Use the C stick to command and control the group. L, R, and Z control perspective. I shall record all of this in my computer. I can press Y to access the computer. Alright, so now we get told up with a new feature. If we press the Y button, well, right now you've got an empty square here, but that'll be more important later on. You got how many Pikmin are with you, how many are in the onion, how many Pikmin are currently idle. We'll get into that in a moment, and also how many ship parts we've collected. If we press the R button, we get an overview of the controls. You get over here. Oh, what's this? That's the strangest vibrator I've ever seen. I mean, it's a 6-way vibrator. Amazing, there's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. Oh, that's an engine. But your ship looks a lot smaller than that. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Freya smiled upon me, but how will I get back to the dolphin? I think it was pretty obvious. Don't you let the Pikmin carry it? Yeah, but you need 20 Pikmin because, let's see, the top number shows how many are needed, the bottom number shows how many are currently trying to pick it up. Right now, we're gonna need to make more Pikmin, and this is the chance to do so. Now, I know what you're probably asking me. Hey, gamer number 98 or Garen or whatever you're calling me, aren't you gonna name these Pikmin? No, I'm not going to name these Pikmin because I could end up coming up with unoriginal names and it wouldn't be very fun. I mean, we all know Attacking Toucans ended up running out of decent names. He ended up naming them unoriginally. So I'm not going to name them. I think it's been done enough now anyway. I mean, the last time somebody named a Pikmin, it became an internet sensation. While I would like to cause an internet sensation, I can't really force it upon myself. Ugh. When many Pikmin sprout at once, I find it rather tedious to pluck them from the ground individually. My wife always told me I was no good at routine tasks. I guess I'll try to get it all done at once by repeatedly tapping A until I pick all the Pikmin from the ground. I've noticed that when I add Pikmin to my group, they become filled with excitement and flushed with bright colour. At other times, they revert to a pale hue and give off a dim glow. Paying close attention to these differences is bound to help me distinguish between Pikmin. When they give off a pale colour, that basically means they're idle and they're not with you. Like so. So that basically makes them stand out and easy to identify. Okay, we're gonna have to wait a bit. Alright. So the maximum number of Pikmin you can get in one day is 25. And, well, the game is programmed so that there's no time limit on day 1. And you can't have any Pikmin die. Even though there are glitches that let you kill your Pikmin and therefore you can basically skip this entire day and be forced to get this first ship part on day 2. But I'm not here to glitch. This is not going to be a speedrun LP. Even though this game is really good for speedrunning. But I'll get into that another time. For now, we're just going to want to carry the ship's main engine over to the Dolphin. Or as I call it, the 6-way vibrator. I mean, seriously, look at that. Yeah, pump it up. Yeah, how are we possibly gonna fix this thing? I mean, look at it. It's in the ground, for God's sake. Well, you know, it's video game logic. Here they come. Oh hey, it's right side up now. And there's the engine on the bottom there. And well, the ship's still pretty battered up, but you know what? You'll see in a minute. Ta-da! Oh, glorious! Yeah, glorious! With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back towards home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. What has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow. And admittedly, we're going to get a pretty cool end of day fanfare. So this was just a tutorial, but the real game starts in the next section. So that's how this LP is going to work. It's going to be at one day per episode. So, despite his ship being completely battered up, he still takes off somehow. A bit rocky, but at least he can get off the surface. But why would he want to do that? One day since impact, I have somehow managed to launch the dolphin, but I was surprised to see the dolphin lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface. Or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. The dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hokote. Analysis shows life support systems will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my dolphin in such a short time? Believe me, Olimar, anyone will agree with me on this. You've got plenty of time. A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the key to my survival, I name it the Forest of Hope. I explore it tomorrow. So every time a day is over, you get Olimar's log and also this this analysis thing up. It shows your Pikmin population. It shows how many you sprouted in that day, how many died that day, how many were left behind. We'll get into that in the next part. But right now, we're gonna save our game. And we're gonna return, well, we're not really gonna return because this is the first time going here, but here's the overworld map. There are 5 areas in the game. More become accessible when you gather more ship parts. So here's the Forest of Hope. It has quite a lot of ship parts compared to the impact site, which only has 2. If you're going to go back to the impact site, don't bother, because that second ship part you're not going to be able to get until a little later. So next time, you're pretty much forced to go to the Forest of Hope. But we'll explore that in the next part. So, next time on Pikmin, we're going to start exploring the Forest of Hope, because the adventure will truly begin then. So, until next time, see you later.